See you later, alligator. Have the wild crocodile. See you later, alligator.
Hey there guys, it's Paul Archer from dronesgator.com, and this time around we're gonna have a look at a drone that surprised me quite a lot. Tello is a drone made by a company called Ryze in partnership with DJI and Intel, and it's supposed to be a cheap $99 selfie drone. We're going to have a look at how the camera records, how stable it is, and if it's actually a good selfie drone, and finally we'll see if it's worth the price. All the product links can be found below in the description of the video. First of all, I got my Tello from banggood.com and it arrived safely. I couldn't order directly from DJI because they don't ship in my country, but don't worry, this is the real deal. What I mean by that is that this isn't a cheap Chinese copycat. The package it arrives in looks pretty good. The battery on this thing is advertised to be 13 minutes, and funny enough, it's actually pretty damn close in real life use. This is very impressive for a drone this cheap. It gets almost as much flight time as a DJI Spark, which is $300 more expensive. The camera is HD 720p and it seems it will come in a few color options. In the package you're getting a standard manual, the battery and a spare set of propellers. The quadcopter itself looks pretty damn well built and sturdy enough. I'm actually very impressed considering its price. The motors are brushed and you can replace them with spare ones that you find on the internet. The motor guards are sturdy and very useful for inside flight and outside too, but you can get a little more flight time out of the battery if you remove them. On one side it features a power button, which is rarely found on drones these days, and it's a nice small addition. On the other side there's the micro USB port for changing and connecting to a PC. The battery is pretty big and I like that a lot. It has a capacity of 1100 mAh with one cell and takes about 1.5 hours to charge. Here is the 720p camera and an LED next to it that flashes blue when it's charging. On the bottom we find some vents and the optical technology sensors that should keep the drone in place while flying. These three sensors, including a small camera, track the ground below the drone and pretty much make a map of it so that the drone stays in the same place without GPS and flies perfectly steady. Even outside, in relatively windy conditions, it compensates for the drift and successfully maintains its position. But I don't recommend flying it in stronger wind, as it doesn't have powerful enough motors to compensate for it and the video might turn out shaky. These optical sensors are perfect for indoors flying and, coupled with the propeller guards, make this one of the safest drones to pilot in this price range. A similar design I can think of is the Paramambo drone and maybe the Wingsland X1. I'll do a comparison between these two in a few days, so subscribe to DronesGator to see some surprising results. The range for the Tello is advertised at about 100 meters, but that's without any Wi-Fi interference and with maximum signal range. I can certainly say the maximum range I could fly this was about 40 to 50 meters at most. But this is enough, as I didn't expect more from a phone Wi-Fi connection anyway. And the Tello is supposed to be a selfie drone and something you just use to take some selfies and video for Instagram or your daily vlog maybe. The next best thing might be a DJI Spark with a controller that will cost you at least $400 more. The altitude this drone flies at is limited to 10 meters and that's a good thing, because beyond that the optical sensors don't work as well and you could potentially lose your drone that way. I have tried to trick the optical sensors below it by flying over edges to different heights, and surprisingly enough, it has handled these tests perfectly. It went smoothly in the direction I requested it to go and the hovering was superb. Now let's see what the Tello camera can really do. When it comes to video, it can record in 720p resolution with a bitrate of 4 megabits per second. Now let me say that I really didn't expect the images on this drone to be so stable. It doesn't have a mechanical gimbal like most other DJI drones, but this time around it's electronically stabilized and it does that pretty well. Let me say that again, surprisingly well for this size. The video quality is also pretty good, but it does seem to have some artifacts here and there, and I have also noticed some frame skipping, which seemed pretty weird. I have solved this problem partially by first opening up the Tello app and only then turning the drone itself on. I wish there was a microSD slot on the drone itself, so it would record directly on that to minimize the artifacts made by signal interference. Again, there are drones that cost 2 or 3 times as much that have shakier footage. I'm looking at you, Dobby drone. I was not expecting this drone to deliver as much as it did, frankly, so I was yet again surprised when I found out that this drone actually has some additional flight modes incorporated. It has a circle mode, which basically does a circle around the target by itself. It's a very interesting shot that I could never do so perfectly just by using these phone controls, like ever. The drone also has the 360 panorama mode, where it basically rotates on the spot and records everything around it in 360 degrees. A nice thing is that the drone automatically starts recording when you get into any of these flight modes, so you'll be sure you won't lose any footage. There's also a mode where you can do flips and rolls in any direction or automatically, probably just to impress your friends. The up and away mode does a nice cinematic short clip where the drone gradually raises its altitude and flies backwards at the same time. The result is something that you can easily put on Instagram and Facebook to reveal yourself, a group of people, or that amazing lake you've stopped by in your trip. You can also launch the drone from your palm, and that's going to look very much like magic to any bystander, and it's simply cool to do. Finally, there's the bounce mode that, in my opinion, is a way to do synchronized push-ups with your drone. There is no other logical explanation for it just jumping on the ground like that. Or maybe squats? Anyway, you've got yourself a gym partner now, that's for sure. We've talked enough about the video this can take, and this is a selfie drone pretty much. So let's see some selfies. The camera takes 5 megapixel photos in JPEG format in a 2K resolution. The photos it takes are pretty exceptional for a drone of this size and price. The quality is really good, and with some nice filters, this drone is going to be your best camera friend for Instagram and Facebook for quite some time. I will be making a video soon just with footage and photos by this awesome drone from the places I've been to. So subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to not miss the video. A nice feature that's probably the most unique to this drone is the ability to actually program it to do what you want. Using just your Android or iPhone, you can set the Tello up to do a succession of events that are fully programmable through another compatible application I have linked in the description that's completely free. You can also edit the actual backend code for more advanced users, and when you're done you can execute your code and the drone will follow your commands. So with all of this in mind, is DJI Tello actually worth it? Let's first go through the pros and cons once again. What I don't like about the drone is the fact that it doesn't have a microSD slot, so there's some artifacts when recording the video live streamed on the phone, and mainly the fact that it only comes with one battery. I'm sure DJI or Ryze will release additional spare batteries soon, but until then I have to get used to having just one. On the pro side, even with just one battery, the flight time of this drone is insane for this size. At over 10 minutes of flight with the prop guards on, this is absolutely great and leaves me plenty of time for a few stops to record beautiful places on a trip, for example. Another big pro is that this drone costs under $100 if you get it from DJI in the United States. A little more in other parts of the world, but even if you pay a little over $100, it's still quite amazing. Considering the competition, nothing is even close to it. And it delivers great stabilized footage for pretty much the cost of a toy quadcopter. Talking about footage, I was mind blown how stable it is, and the quality is not half bad either. Another thing I liked that I didn't mention is how fast it connected to the Wi-Fi. No password needed and a very fast process overall. Perfect for capturing a passing moment like a sunset or maybe a celebrity. The most widely appreciated feature of this drone is the ease of use. Most people, including children, can fly this without a problem and learn how to fly a drone thanks to the optical sensors and intuitive controls. This means you can even let the hands off your phone, sip from your coffee and enjoy how the Tello is still recording you from the same spot as you do nothing. The fact that it's so portable and small and that you don't have to actually register it anywhere in the world makes it pretty much the perfect travel drone. I was almost going to put the limited range in the list of cons. 50 meters is actually very acceptable in my opinion. Even more, there's a way to actually increase the range with a Wi-Fi repeater and a power bank. I'll make a video in a few days with how you can use this Wi-Fi repeater to extend the range of the Tello to up to 100 meters, and also you can use the same Wi-Fi repeater to extend the range of the Wi-Fi in your own house. You can use it to extend the range of the Wi-Fi in your house with the same repeater, and it's cheap as hell. So don't forget to subscribe for that video. As a conclusion, this is way above anything toy grade you can get for the same price in a supermarket. It's not one of those bad toy drones everyone crashes on Christmas. It's not a DJI Mavic either, but it has been the most reliable drone with the most stable footage I've seen for this price, and considering the build quality and the giant companies that back it up, The price you pay for this is frankly way less than I would have estimated. So my answer is certainly yes. Get it for yourself. You won't find a better selfie camera drone for the money as much as you might want to look. There are links in the description, even for a cool controller that you can use to connect to your phone and play with the drone and many other mobile games. I would be very happy if you leave a comment down below and tell me what we'll use this drone for. Thanks for watching, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon, because remember, I'll do a video with more footage and pictures from the Tello. See ya later, alligator!
See you later, alligator.